subtitle beginning at the same moment, and then as some languages need slightly longer to be translated, maybe more characters, more words, if it's at all possible that the English subtitle will be left on the screen milliseconds, half a second long or whatever, when it's possible, so that the translation also has time to be read. Because it's no good having marvellously done translations if they pass by so fast that you haven't got time to read it and that's all the message. Once the time shifters has done their magic, the transcription is then open to the proofreaders of the transcriptions, and this is quite important that it's native English speakers who do this, so that they don't just check the grammar and the spelling, but they make sure that all the words have been correctly heard, because if not, this can happen.
Das hier ist das wichtigste Genetische, das ist das Überlebensrennen.
This is the German postcard.
We're thinking.
What are you thinking about?
So, once the transcription has been declared the best we could possibly get it, it passes on then to eager little hands of the translators themselves to work their magic. And here you can see the, again, very user-friendly translation page of .sub. It's basically, we've got the English subtitles, you can see them in black with the timestamps so that you know where they correspond to if you need to look back at the video at the midpoint. And then underneath in blue is where the translations are inserted. And this is a perfect example. It's in Bulgarian, addendum in Bengali, social pathology in Bulgarian. It's a perfect example of how some languages need that little bit extra space, therefore time to be read, to say the same as what's being said in English. Okay? A bit more long-winded, a lot of the other languages than English are. It's also worthy of pointing out that when we come across a difficult term, many of the terms used in this message that we're giving out now are unfamiliar to us, and so the teams collaboratively will get their heads together and decide on the best way to translate a certain phrase. For example, city systems has been quite a hard one for the Spanish team, and so we got together, we even got in touch with Jack and Roxanne, and then that phrase that we decide to translate it, then that then becomes standardized, so that every time we translate anything, it's always going to be the same word that's used. We don't need to confusions and so on. Once the translations have been finished, we then pass on to the proofreading phase. And this is perhaps the phase that has the most responsibility, because it's not just checking the grammar and the spelling of the language that it's been translated into, but it's also making sure that the context is correctly conveyed. One mistaken translation, one word, badly translated, can change the whole meaning of the phrase and therefore the message. So we have to be very, very careful that the message is correctly conveyed, otherwise we get A being translated as B, and then on top of that the people understand it as C. So we really do have to take things very, very carefully on this level. Moving forward a little bit, we're working towards now, this is hopefully in the close future, the linguistic team will have its own website, dedicated purely and simply for linguistic team topics. It's in the embryonic stage at the moment, and the idea is that eventually we will have a linguistic team theatre where all the videos that we've translated will be a sort of a one-stop shopping for the videos. Any activist or anybody at all that wants to see good translation, the best possible translation, will be able to come to this page and find them all there, in all the formats that they want to download or to share a link or whatever. And I'm using TED as an example because we're going to be using the same system, dashboard, I'll explain a bit in the next slide, for the Linguistic Team website. And there will also be a Linguistic Team theatre for the big one, Linguistic Team library for the PDFs and books and so on. And what happened with .sub was we caused so much traffic on .sub with the Zeitgeist material and the News Project material that it called the attention of the owners logically, and they began to watch the videos. They liked them, they were in agreement with them, and they wanted to help us. So they gave us a gift that would normally be sold to companies like TED. And this enables us to do marvelous things on the backside of the, behind the curtains of the translation team. It will enable us to have that wonderful website theatre, but also it will give us such fun toys as interactive transcripts. Now, what does that mean? You can see here we've got a Slovakian translation. This is from Mata. And it's actually quite a nice video on linguistics in babies. You can see the subtitle underneath the video, and on the right-hand side, you've got the transcription, the translation, and there's a zone that's in darker grey. What happens here is that when the mouse is moved over that interactive transcript, coinciding with the subtitles, it will light up in a darker grey. So if you click on it, it automatically takes you to that very point in the video. So this is a really nice tool. You'll be able to go and check on something. What was it that so-and-so said in that video? Let's go look, and there it is, all at the touch of a button. These are all tools that are going to be very, very useful for us in the future. And this is what we're working towards. Here we have another one of the translation assist tools that we use. It's the Pupil. Those of you that have been around a while will have heard of Pupil. And it's been updated quite recently. And this is what we use for the text, for the websites and so on. The videos are done in .sub, and Pupil is where we do the text. Again, it's very user-friendly. It will use the text into the box. Underneath the original transcription, hit enter, it's saved automatically and passes you on to the next paragraph. All these tools make it very easy to be collaborative because as things are automatically saved, you just close down, go away, and somebody else can come in and pick up where you left off translating. So it really is very, very simple to work this way. Google currently supports the 80 languages that we have in the linguistic team, in the international linguistic team. And one of the wonderful things about the linguistic team, working in international policy, is that it has such a global reach that we're learning a great amount about communication across these artificial barriers that have been created. And the chapter projects, which is, you can see there in the title it says chapter projects, is a great example of promoting the communication between the chapters through the linguistics team. Any of the chapters that create some interesting information and wishes to share it with the rest of the world, they can bring it into Google in their original language. We will translate it into English and then into all the other languages to share with all the other chapters. And the example that we have here is the bullet points by Simon. So, but it's actually done into Macedonian there. So you can see we really do have a lot of different languages. So, one thing that is becoming very, very clear, patently clear with the linguistics team is that it doesn't just have to be the linguistics team that works on an international level. In fact, if all the teams were international, it would help the Zeitgeist movement grow much faster. Collaborating, we avoid duplication of the work and we achieve a much higher standard as well. And it all comes down really to the fact that learning and sharing the experiences that we have, we will cross these barriers, we will begin to really feel ourselves as a truly global movement. So basically, what we could say is that we're building bridges. We're building bridges better and stronger every day between the chapters and to the world. And while some of the first bridges were very basic, and some people didn't really get quite the idea of how to use a bridge, we're moving towards a much more streamlined future, where we can see and experiment for ourselves that no matter where we are in the world, there's much more similarities between us than differences. And as developers, more and more developers understand the need to work internationally and globally and come and help the linguistic team create the tools that we need to be able to get better and better with the translations, then we will continue to beat at the heart of the Zeitgeist movement and carry on towards a streamlined future that we're all looking forward to. And now finally, just one last little word that I always say to the new members into the Spanish language team. We aren't translating a soap opera here. We're translating how to change the world. And that is something that is worth all the care, all the dedication, all the time, and all the love that we can give it.
Hello, can you hear me? No. Lynn, nice and mic, yeah? Okay. Yeah? Hear me? Yeah? Good. Okay. Another example of people working together, you know? You'll never get people working together that quickly. Okay, listen, we're going to have a break now, everybody. A couple of things before we go. Sorry? Yeah, we're going to take a break because it's hot. Anyway,